Good evening, dear friends. I'm happy to congratulate you on the fact that from this moment on, your life will have a before and an after. Now, we are going to improve the function of your brain, enhance its blood supply to unprecedented levels that you have never experienced before, and you didn't even know your brain was capable of this. There are various exercises, as you know, to improve memory. But what should you do to improve your memory? Obviously, you need to train it. At the moment when we engage in some kind of mental activity, nerve cells, neurons, which have certain extensions, reach out to each other and connect these little extensions together. Before that, they simply weren't connected. And this connection, called a synapse, is where a chemical reaction takes place inside. Certain neurotransmitters, chemical substances are needed for it to happen. And the electrical impulse that goes from one neuron, here it is, the electrical impulse, amperes, ohms, passes to another. And this connection between neurons, after a certain number of repetitions, becomes stable. This is what we call memory. When you stop repeating something, this connection can be lost. As a rule, it's not just two neurons, especially when you're memorizing a more complex process. It can be not only auditory memory, not only visual memory, but also memory for certain movements. Coordination of movements is also included here. And as you get older, when you start forgetting the names of your children, husbands and dogs, this connection, well, how can I put it, becomes less strong or even breaks completely when you can't remember even a single letter from your husband's name. But with regular repetition, it becomes, well, more stable. And some people, for example, need to repeat something 100 times, while others just once. What does that depend on? It depends on how quickly these neural connections are formed and how often and how quickly they become strong. There is also such a concept as attentiveness. It's the ability to maintain concentration on a certain process. For example, some of you already, right? How long has this video been going on? 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Someone has already gotten lost, drifted off into their memories at a certain word. What is focused attention? For example, you are reading. The letters seem to pass before your eyes, but the meaning is unclear and you have to go back. This probably isn't familiar to you. Nobody reads these days anyway. Let's say, for example, you're watching this video. You hear something, you hear the husband's name and start remembering. And then you miss everything that comes after that. So, attention is the ability to concentrate on the process that's happening without getting distracted by your own muscles, not muscles, thoughts. Yeah, you can actually get distracted by your muscles a little. I wanted to say juggle them, not juggle, tense them. And what are we supposed to do with this now? The thing is, there is more a condition under which this whole process will go more smoothly. This is a process related to the blood supply to the brain. And how can we improve? Of course, you can become a mathematician. You can go to university to teach, write scientific papers, and keep a clear mind until you're 90 or even 100 years old. By the way, this also affects life expectancy. If your brain is constantly occupied with solving certain problems, it is forced to form these connections and learn something new. Of course, you can study some new languages for this or read literature in an unfamiliar language. But you need willpower to do all that. There's another way to improve blood supply to the brain. It's connected to muscle activity. As we know, muscles also receive blood supply and are innervated. And for example, if a muscle, any muscle in our body, let's say the gluteal muscle has a certain volume like this. A vessel of this diameter goes to this muscle. Well, not just one, but let's take some main vessel that supplies this muscle. It has this kind of diameter, and accordingly, the outgoing vessel, the vein, the incoming arteries, let's take one of them, okay? Or the total volume, you can imagine that there are several of them. The amount of blood that comes in should ideally leave the muscle as well, right? Or not? And we have the same volume in our outflow vessels. So that the inflow equals the outflow. The muscle works, it fills with blood. When needed, it fills with blood. When not needed, it deflates, so to speak. Then, at the right moment, it fills up again while it's working. But if our muscle has this kind of volume, right, then accordingly, the vessels leading to the muscle, or rather the total area of those vessels, is larger. Now imagine such a vessel approaches the muscle. That is, the muscle is more active, it requires more blood. And accordingly, the outflow vessels also adapt to this. Thus, as is known, our head has a direct connection with the rest of our body through the neck, the cervical region. Well, the spine, you could say. In general, the neck as a structure is the only thing that connects our head to the rest of the body. Can you imagine? Have you ever thought about that? There's no other connection. And accordingly, the vessels that supply blood to our entire head, not just the brain, but also the sensory organs, their condition also affects memory and overall functioning. All of this passes through the neck. All the vessels pass through the main vessel, the carotid artery, the common carotid artery, which divides into the external and internal carotid arteries, and the vertebral artery, which passes inside the spinal canal of the cervical spine, directly in the openings inside the transverse processes of the vertebrae. Also, the branches of the vessel branching off, they go to the muscles of the neck. And if we try to increase our brain activity, which isn't that simple and is hard to gauge, we won't be able to assess how it's being supplied with blood at the moment. Is it better or worse? Does the mental activity we're experiencing right now actually train the brain or not? For example, solving crosswords. But by affecting the neck muscles in a certain way, we can be sure that at that moment the blood flow improves, not only to the neck muscles, but also to the brain itself. This is kind of the foundation for all these processes to happen properly in our bodies. The outflow of blood will also improve, because very often the inflow and outflow of blood do not match. Very often there is difficulty with venous outflow from the whole head. As you know, friends, neck mobility exercises are very common and very popular, where you need to stretch something or turn it. Most of the exercises that we see now, the most popular ones, are related to increasing mobility, relaxing the neck, or increasing turns and certain movements. They really do give a short-term positive effect for a few months. But very often the problem in the neck is actually a lack of muscle volume. That's why in the long run these exercises gradually stop helping. Because initially the existing muscle volume is activated and mobility improves partially. But if you increase mobility in any joint, even in the neck, for example, you'll then have to increase your muscle volume even more to control this new range of motion with your muscles. That's why at the first stage you shouldn't increase the range of motion in the neck especially. Instead, you should make sure that what you already have, the muscle volume you already have, works at 100%. or even better, that this volume increases. And especially for you, today, I'll show you an exercise with a device that you can make yourself at home. Exercise device. Take a look. This is how the invention looks. Here. For this, you need a kitchen towel. Something small like this is enough. And an elastic band. You should choose the elastic band depending on how much resistance you can handle and how developed your neck muscles are. To start, use a light elastic band like this. What are we going to do? Watch. You don't need a long elastic band, you'll see why soon. You take this towel, spread it out carefully like this. Place the elastic band in the center right here. And then start rolling the towel like this. There you go. You rolled it up like this so that you get a soft part. And that's it. The trainer is ready. Now we'll use it. Carefully. It's a fragile structure. Here, your exercise device is ready. Here it is. What are we going to do? Watch. Some of the neck muscles most prone to weakness are the muscles at the back of the neck. Our lives are such that almost everyone gradually experiences weakness in these muscles. And we'll start our training with them. What are we going to do? Watch. You place this soft part on the back of your head. With your hands, you stretch the band and stand near the wall. Put it back. Right here. The soft part goes on the back of your head. Stand near the wall. Use your hands to hold the band in place. Or, if your band has holes here, you can put your hands through them like this, something like this, or hold it whichever way feels comfortable for you. There, we've secured it. There. Otakot. And now you need to adjust the height here, so that during the exercise, you don't have too much of a lean, like this. That is, it's preferable for your chin, this chin area, to stay parallel to the floor. Don't tilt your head back too much, and don't lower your head down like this. So, put it in place. Stretch the band, and you feel this tension here. If it's too strong, move a little closer. And now place your hands just above eye level. Because if you put them down, you'll have to bend over like this. It's not recommended to train in this bent position for now. So you place them a little higher. And now in this position, you can feel the strain. Now, what do? We don't move the neck itself. Take a step forward, reduce the tension, and a step back, increase it. Or you can simply put one foot forward and the other back, and shift your body weight onto the front foot and then onto the back foot. Onto the front foot and onto the back foot. Just like this. You put a little less weight, a little more, a little less, a little more. It's better to keep your hands a bit higher so that your head doesn't tilt forward. There you go. And this way, you're working your neck extensors. If at this moment you feel tension, not in your neck, but somewhere between your shoulder blades, right here, that means you're doing everything right. Because right now we're training the long neck extensors, which actually start right in this area. So the main problem is that this part where the neck muscles attach to the thoracic vertebrae is the one that gets weak. If you feel tension in the suboccipital area, it means you need to reduce the tension of the band. Use one that's not so stiff, because if you don't feel anything anywhere, that's okay. In this exercise, it's not necessary to feel tension somewhere. This basically doesn't affect the effectiveness of the exercise. The only thing is, if something gets overstrained somewhere, reduce the number of repetitions. Either reduce the repetitions or try using a lighter resistance band. Watch again. We place it like this. Here you can place your hands wider or closer together, whatever is comfortable for you. It depends on whether you have enough space to move or not. There you go. There, back, there, back. How can you make it more challenging? Turn your head a little, about 45 degrees. And now we put more strain on the muscles on the right side. If we turn this way, now we put strain on the muscles on the left side. There, the position of your hands. Ideally, they should be above eye level. As for wider or narrower, you choose that yourself, depending on whether it's easy or difficult for you to do. Move back, hold for a few seconds, relax. Move back, hold for a few seconds, relax. We were training the neck extensors with you. The long neck extensors that are located at the back.
So now for the muscles on the sides of the neck.
In the same way, we now fix the band. That is Alekseev's trainer on the side of your head. Now look, the first step for beginners. Just hold your head in this position. If you already have experience and are confident in your muscle strength at this movement as well, move a little closer, farther away. That is closer, farther away. Here, it's also preferable to secure the band just a little above eye level. Move closer, then step to the side. From the other side, fix that as well. And now move it closer, then farther. Closer, farther. The band shouldn't be too stiff, especially during the first workouts, so that your neck muscles don't get overloaded. This way, we with you, the neck extensor muscles at the back of the neck.
And to the lateral ones as well. The sternocleidomastoid muscles are also involved here. Well, my friends, did you feel how new, fresh blood started to flow to your brain? And bright, clear thoughts have returned to your head again, just like in the old days. Once again, you have a clear mind, sharp memory, and a good mood with you forever now. If you start to feel down, again, just return to this exercise and you'll feel refreshed once more. It's best not to do it every day. 2 or 3 times a week is enough. Because the muscles need to recover after such a workout, it's best to choose an appropriate level of intensity. You shouldn't overload your muscles right away. Start with a light resistance band, then gradually increase the intensity. You can also share your impressions in the comments. Let us know how you felt. Improvement. See you next time.